Hey y'all, I'm Charlie Birch, owner of Being Human Ally and the creator of the Supercharge Your Life blog. I work with business professionals, specifically business owners who are living with chronic pain, to help them master self care in order to increase energy, productivity, and profits. Everyone likes those profits, right? So it's all about the bottom line, except that if you don't take care of yourself, there is no business. So, really, the best thing you can do for your company is invest in yourself and take care of yourself. And so, all of the tools on this blog are intended to help you do that. This week is the theme of the inner child. And since it's Thursday, we'll be doing a mental hygiene practice. And before I dive into the practice, I just want to explain a little bit about what a mental hygiene practice is. So, did you know? I think this is really cool because I geek out on psychology, which is why I do what I do, right? I'm sure you geek out on whatever it is that you do. So, did you know that only 10% of your mental activity is conscious? 50% of your mental activity is subconscious. So you have conscious, subconscious, and then 40% is unconscious. And these mental hygiene practices are really intended to help your consciousness that you have on an everyday basis kind of drop down a little bit more than it would without attention into the subconscious realm. So that 50% of your mental activity that you can access if you pay attention. And so the inner child, before I go into that, can you really think of a reason why you wouldn't want to be more aware of what you're thinking about? I mean, it just gives you so much more control over what you're thinking about. And what you're thinking about is really going to allow you, is really going to determine what you're able to shift, what you're able to change in your life, and all of those things, especially when you're running a business or, running a marathon, or all those little negative voices. If they're negative, we want to get in there and investigate about them. And if they're positive, we want to get in there and make sure that they're on our side. And that's what we're really, or that we have access to their wisdom, which is really what we're going to be doing today. So the inner child is really just a collection of memories around what it was like to be a child, what the world looked like when you were a child, what it felt like, what it smelled like, what you loved, how you played, how you were creative, and all of these wonderful energies that you see in children all around that just kind of go, oh, the good old days. Well, they're always with you if you choose to pay attention. And because they're in your memory, your emotional memory to be specific, they don't have linear time. So the inner child is like, it's always my sixth birthday, it's always my sixth birthday, or it's always the first day I got my dog, or it's always the first day I got my dog, or this is always the first time I saw X, Y, or Z. And so the inner child is really excited, it's really curious, it's also really sensitive. And children have needs, and they haven't quite figured out yet how to take care of their needs on their own. And as a child in the real world, obviously, you have a parent who hopefully, if you got lucky, did a really good job of attending to your needs. And as an adult, your inner child starts to look to you, the adult version, to meet those needs. And when those needs aren't getting met for whatever reason, they're not going to lend you their creativity. They're not going to lend you their fresh eyes. And so this is where it really comes into how this can be valuable for your professional world. Your professional world is a high pressure place, I imagine. There's a lot of demands. There's a lot of complicated details. There's a lot of monotonous routine that the inner child really doesn't dig on any of those things. And a lot of those things are in conflict with the inner child's needs. So it's not like, you're just going to take a nap whenever your inner child's like, hey, I'm tired. Or, you're going to just go get ice cream every time your child's like, hey, I want some ice cream. But it's like if you attend to the needs of the child, they begin to trust you more, and they begin to trust that what you're doing in the adult realm is really for the greater good of everybody inside. And they will lend you their creativity. They will lend you their fresh eyes. They will lend you their sense of playfulness, and they will work with you instead of against you in order to help you move closer towards your goals. When you're not attending to the inner child, this is where you might be experiencing physical symptoms or stuckness. And by stuckness, I mean mental or physical. So like you could be feeling like my back is stuck, it just won't crack, or ouch, that really hurts. And if you start to think about your pain as a metaphor for the way that you're being or relating to yourself, potentially your inner child, it opens up a whole new range of healing possibility. And so we want to get out of this dynamic with our subconscious, and we want to get into this dynamic with our subconscious. We want to be aware of the needs of the inner child in this case, so that we can say, okay, I hear you, I feel you, I remember that. And then the inner child will say, okay, so you're not ignoring me. Well, let me just like lend you these fresh eyes, or lend you this creativity, or like let's play together to solve this problem that you're currently being faced with. And if you think about the pain as kind of an internal hissy fit, an energetic hissy fit of like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, stop making me do this. And you're like, hey, what's up? And it's like, I don't want to do this. And you're like, okay, I hear that, but like we must do this right now because it's for the greater good of everybody. Then the inner child will usually say, okay, and the pain will start to recede. So ultimately, when you have this dynamic, you have a lot of stress and a lot of wasted energy. Just go ahead and put your fists together like that, and you can just feel like how much energy you're using to push. It's such a waste. But if you turn them together and you allow them to work together, how much less energy, how much less tension, how much less in your face. And so when you're exploring your subconscious mind, you're just, as long as you're doing it with compassion, you're going to lower your stress levels. When your stress levels are lower, your health is going to increase. When your health is increasing, you have more energy because things are flowing, and it's just so much more enjoyable to be alive. And with lower stress levels, better health, and more energy, you're just going to be better able to bring your A game when it matters most. So I hope that you enjoy the exercise below. If you do, please share it with some people, maybe like 3 or 4 or 10, or, just get it out. Help me help more people by getting it out there into the world. If you really dig on the blog as a whole, like go ahead and subscribe to the mailing list, and then it'll come right to your mailbox because, who really wants to have one more thing to track? Oh my God, it's Thursday, I got to remember to go. And no, it'll come right to your mailbox, and it'll be there for you whenever you have time to process it. And if you're curious about the work I do and how it could be applied more specifically to the challenges that you're facing in your life, you can contact me because I work one-on-one with people around these very concepts and how to use them really to supercharge their life and help them bring their A game and heal their bodies and, just have more fun being human, because it's kind of hard sometimes, and it's always nice to have someone in your court acting as an ally. So have a wonderful day, practice with compassion, and hopefully I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.